Hello there people, Vestin here, playing Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. I'm somewhat groggy, somewhat out of it, but I'll give it my best shot. Let's do this. As soon as I reduce the volume because this is unbearable. In terms of how loud it is. Ah, a new slot. I have a whopping total of 5 at my disposal. You know what? I tend to choose the first one all the time. How about I pick the second one for a change? Enter a name for your adventure. It's the Vestin slot. Ah, choose level set. Original, floors 6, 7, and 8. Follow the layout from the original Apple II release. These are the original level layouts from the original 1981. All console, floors 6, 7, and 8. Follow the layout of the classic console adaptations. These layouts are a bit more complex and challenging to navigate than the original levels. It sounds like the console version is tougher. It sounds like the original version is original. Oh dear. Well, do I want to play this the old-fashioned way, or do I want to play it the hard way? The choice is mine. I will roll with the original version, I guess? Yeah, let's play the original version. If I want to, I can always replay this game. No one's stopping me. And as far as I understand it, this game doesn't take particularly long to beat. Back in the day, let's say tragic fates befalling your characters could cut your runtime short, by which they would effectively extend your playthrough time. But other than that, other than just random failure and total party kills, I think I should be able to beat this in reasonable time. Well, of course, assuming I won't stop every second and insist on expatiating, waxing philosophic. Right. This remake contains new options to improve player quality of life. Do you wish to play with these new options? These options can be configured. Oh, well, either play with new options or let's actually configure options. I think I will roll with every single modern feature. I'm not going to torture myself unnecessarily. But let's have a gander indeed. What do we have here? Modern, original, console, and custom. Oh dear. Starting attribute points, set points, or presumably you can roll them. Oh dear. Starting attribute points. Starting attribute points can be determined by a random roll, or you can start with set points determined by your character's lineage, so all characters have the same attribute points. Set points, please. I don't want to randomly roll because that's BS. That's very random. Not that random necessarily is, but whatever. Level up attribute advancement. At level up, if either each attribute has a random chance to increase, with a chance to decrease based on the character's age, with point buy, you receive 1 to 3 points at level up to distribute as you see fit. Point buy, please. Character age theming. Vim? Okay. Aging in the original game can happen at different rates for characters, depending on what happens to them. Oh no, this is an odd concept. So to make this more understandable, character aging can either be themed as age or Vim. With Vim, do they age like wine? They essentially work the same way. I'm sorry, what? Then what's the difference? Additionally, the cost of in-rooms has been rebalanced slightly with the Vim option as... What, do you get a discount on in-pricing if you're young or something? What? I'm gonna roll with Vim no matter what it is. Presumably I'm going to roll with every single modern option no matter what it means, but let's see. In configuration with original, the inn contains rooms for characters to stay in with varying degrees of cost and HP recovery. With expanded, the inn is expanded, allowing players to do several things they can normally only do in camp, plus a new ability to rest to recover HP and spell points. I have no idea what these things are, but I'll roll with that. Temple assignment expanded. Temple costs are rebalanced. Level 1 characters can be resurrected for free. And the temple offers additional services, such as the ability to recover lost levels from a level drain encounter. That would be nice, but original temple remains without these new features. Give me the expanded version! Character recruiting. Players can recruit pre-made characters from the tavern of varying levels based on the highest attained level the player has achieved. Well, I think I would rather make my own characters. But this seems nice, I guess. Honor Guard terms. Should you recover the amulet and return it to Overlord Treble, he will invite you to join his Honor Guard. However, the guard doesn't allow new recruits to bring their own gear. That's... if set to keep gear, the Honor Guard will make an exception for you, and you'll get to keep all your gear. Otherwise, you will lose it all when you return to town with Treble's amulet. What does that enable? New Game Plus? Aren't you supposed to go down, retrieve the amulet, bring it back and win? No, you're presumably supposed to defeat them at Overlord, so maybe that's a mid-game event? I don't know. Aging from in. Resting and recovering at the end takes time. Too much resting may age your adventurers and slow them down. Set to disable to turn off this penalty. Okay, we will age from being there. I guess this might be disabled in the console version? No idea. But I'm not gonna make it more modern than it already is. So my characters are going to age! Oh, maze options. Ambient map. A map of party's immediate perceived surroundings. This map can be tricked by teleports, spinners, other maze hazards, requiring new map pick to set it right. Understandable, okay. So, this is useful, but not as useful as the spell, which exists for the sole purpose of showing you the map. Casting the map is a graphical map of the explored parts of the maze in your current location, not just text coordinates, okay? So it's even better than it used to be originally. It serves a national purpose. Conversation hints. Characters will comment on current circumstances, provide helpful guidance. Hints? Well, fine, I'll roll with it. Bad stuff on party wipe. What? When a party dies in the maze, bad stuff may happen to them while they still remain there. There is a chance that the items may be lost, gold will be pilfered, and a character could be eaten, making them unrecoverable. No bad stuff, please. Surprise round casting. What? With disabled enemies and players are not able to cast spells on surprise rounds. With enabled, they can. Okay, that's fair, because when I surprise the enemies, they can't. I can't cast spells either. All Haman results. That's another spell. In the original game, there are several effects of Haman and Mahaman that will not trigger due to a bug. If enabled, you will have a chance to trigger these additional effects. Trigger! Distribute extra gold. If enabled, any sums of gold that cannot be evenly distributed after an encounter will be given to the party member with the least gold. Okay, makes sense. If disabled, the remainder will be If disabled, the remainder will be discarded. What? Wow, this is more lunacy than the Bolsheviks would allow. Seriously? So you distribute the gold evenly, and then your remainder is just tossed aside because we cannot allow any inequality. What the hell, people? Granted, there's just a tiny bit of gold here and there, but no, obviously not. Hide and ambush actions. If enabled, thieves and ninjas will have the ability to hide and ambush during combat, even from the back row. Even? Okay. If disabled, these actions will not be available. Give me the hide and ambush, I guess. Enemy identification system. When first encountering an enemy, each character will roll to identify the enemy. With Inspect, enemy characters can attempt to learn details about the enemy by choosing the Inspect enemy action during combat. Up to 3 levels of detail can be revealed and stored. With Roll per combat, characters attempt to identify the creature each time it is faced in combat, and only the most basic information about the enemy is revealed. You can use fast combat to skip animations for enemies you've learned a lot about during using the new system. Okay. Okay, I get it. You might otherwise want to observe the animations to see what on earth they're doing to you. Action reaction, if enabled. It is enabled by... If enabled when an enemy is no longer available... Oh! I see, because you declare your actions. I want to attack this guy, this here, this that. and so on. My character A attacks monster number 2. But what if monster number 2 is dead by the time the turn comes? Please attack monster number 3 or something. Don't just figure, well, since the target is no longer available, I'm just gonna take a break. No. If enabled when an enemy is no longer available to attack or cast a spell upon, the attack or spell will be redirected to another enemy group that is present. If no valid target is present for a spell by the time it casts, it will not be cast. If disabled, attacks against enemies that no longer exist are lost. The spells will still fire off and consume spell points. No, we don't want that. I know that this makes things difficult, but let's not. Run away in turn order. If enabled, characters attempt to run away in turn order, preventing last actions this round for all characters if unsuccessful. If disabled, which character do you run away separately? Severally? If disabled character attempts to run away immediately, and if unsuccessful, all characters lose chance to act for this round. Huh. Honor the God rule. What is this? Cheats. Should you recover the amulet and return it to Overlord Treble, he will invite you to join his honor guard, conferring a substantial experience reward. Originally, you could receive this reward multiple times. Some of the new systems we've added made it trivial to exploit this system to accrue large amounts of experience quickly. If set to once, any character will receive the experience reward only the first time. This is more aligned with later versions of the game, and we think this makes for a better, more balanced experience. Now, for balance reasons, using any of the options in this character will permanently mark your character. Characters, and yeah, the global party sort of entity. Currently this has no effect, but may exclude them from participating in future updates and content. Understandable. Would you like to begin the game with a starter party of level 2 characters, or create all your own characters? Create all characters! Visit the training grounds to make your own characters, or the existing ones to your liking. All new characters start with basic armor and weapons already equipped. Visit Gilgamesh's Tavern to add, remove, and configure members of your party. Enter the maze to start your journey. This game can be unforgiving, I know. Build your party steadily, returning often to town and rest, and level them up at the Adventurers Inn, and buy new equipment at Voltax Trading Post. It's important to know that party members will die. You can resurrect them at the Temple of Kant, but sometimes it can be best to just start fresh, especially for inexperienced characters. After all, new adventurers are coming to town all the time. Left control to close. Curious. Well, I could hypothetically just use the keyboard, but that's rather silly. No, it slowly pans. Okay. Visit the training grounds. Create and edit characters. Okay. Visit the inn to recover HP, spell points, level up. Okay. Visit the tavern to manage the party. Enter the maze to enter the actual maze. Visit the temple, restore and resurrect characters. Boltax Trading Post to, you know, buy, sell, identify. Deal with items. This is very straightforward. All the sorts of things you could possibly want. This is the gold I have, presumably 250. Create, inspect, edit. Inspect. There's nothing. Create. Oh boy, this is gonna take a while. Well, let me read through everything. And I do mean everything. Select lineage, attributes, class, alignment, portrait, and name. I get to pick from, based on, this is advanced craniology. Based on ear shape, we can pick humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, and halflings. Human. Here are the base stats. 8 strength, 8 vitality, 8 intellect, 8 points of agility, 5 points of piety, and 9 points of luck. What is strength? Oh, you're not gonna tell me. Well, fair enough. Humans excel at nothing. Relatable, yes. But have no particular weakness. Except for a decided lack of piety. Yeah, I know humans. That's what they're like in my experience, yes. Elves are intelligent and pious, but not very robust. They excel at intellectual pursuits and are excellent spellcasters. Yes. So 7 points of strength, 6 points of vitality, 10 points of intellect, 9 points of agility, 10 points of piety, 6 points of luck. Dwarves are strong and hardy. They love fine weapons and armor and delight in a good fight. They are just as pious as elves, apparently. They have the same luck, but 10 strength, 10 vitality, 7 intellect, 5 agility. Wow. Dwarves are dumber than humans, but don't tell them. Gnomes. Gnomes are pious and agile, probably from praying underground during earthquakes. Due to the ascetic traditions, they make excellent priests. Yeah, I can imagine. Piety at a 10, but then again... Do they though? They have a piety at 10, same as the dwarves and the elves. Why would I... Why would I pick a gnome over an elf? Huh. So 7 strength, 8 agility, 7 intellect, 10... Sorry. 7 strength, 8 vitality, 7 intellect, 10 agility, 10 piety, and 7 luck. Gnomes have a lesser intellect, but more piety. Why would I ever pick a gnome? Why would you want a gnome? I don't know. Halflings. Halflings are agile and very, very lucky. They're happy-go-lucky people. And with the right training, become superb thieves. 15 points of luck. We should have at least one halfling, shouldn't we? Strength 5, vitality 6, intellect 7, agility 10, piety 7, and 15 points of luck. Ugh. Alright, alright. Well, first of all, let's start out by selecting a dwarven... Yeah, if I want someone strong, I need a dwarf. I will select a dwarf. Now for the attributes. Yes, attribute second, class next. I see, and here are the available classes depending on the attributes. You can play as a fighter, a mage, a priest, a thief, a bishop, or a samurai. I thought ninjas also exist. You know what? Never mind, never mind. Presumably I want a dwarven fighter, don't I? And it says strength 1, that means I need 1 more point in strength, don't I? Yes, 1 more point. Can I make a dwarven samurai? Is that a possibility? It's not a possibility, is it? I just don't have enough points to make a samurai. Wish I could. But alas, I cannot. Okay, we can make this guy into a fighter. What are the attributes? Oh, I can right-click and learn. Strength affects the character's metal and skill in combat. The higher the strength, the more likely the character is to hit. And the more damage they will cause when attacking. Interesting. So to hit as well? I figured I would be guided by agility, but presumably agility is only for dodging. It is most important for classes Fighter, Samurai, and Lord. Oh, I see. There are additional classes, though they are not displayed. Huh. Tell me about intellect. Intellect influences the character's ability to learn arcane spells and identify enemies, as opposed to, you know, clerical spells. And identify enemies. Most important for mage, bishop, and samurai. Piety. Piety influences the character's ability to learn divine spells and identify enemies. It is most important for classes priest, bishop, and lord. Vitality. Vitality is the life force of a character and affects the amount of hit points they can receive. When a character's vitality reaches 0, the character is retired from the game. That's one way of putting it. All characters benefit from a high vitality, especially those who stand in the front row of a party. Say no more. No, seriously, shut up. Yeah, we're going with a lot of vitality on this guy. This guy right here. Yeah, he's gonna be the fighter. Agility affects the character's speed. Higher the agility, the earlier the character will act in combat, and the more likely a character is to avoid traps on treasure chest. Or in the maze itself. I think I'll have a halfling thief disarm these and open these. And he's gonna get a lot of points in agility. The class is thief and ninja. I told you there was a ninja, but he was hiding from me. Benefit further from high agility, as it will increase the chances of finding traps and chests and disarming them. Thief and ninja, gotcha. What about luck? Luck comes to a character's aid in many mysterious ways. Thanks. All classes can benefit from a bit of luck. Well, that doesn't tell me much of anything. But on this guy right here, I think I'm just going to go with strength and vitality. Actually, is there a hard limit? Oh, yes. Yes, there is. You can only have a maximum of 18 points in vitality. What about strength, then? Also 18 points. Is this D&D-like? Tell you what, I'm giving him 18 points of vitality, just like that. And I'm putting all the rest in strength. So he's got 15 points of strength and 18 points of vitality. He's the dwarven tank. Points needed. No, they're not. I'm selecting the fight. Confirm attributes. Ha ha ha. Tell me about the classes. Fighter. The man-at-arms fighters need a minimum strength of 11 and maybe any alignment. They have high hit points and can use any armor or weapon. They are very good at combat. Incredible. High hit points. Any armor or weapon. They can use any. Well, armor and weapon, I presume. As lovely as that is, that doesn't mean they can use anything. No. Presumably, staves and scrolls and other magical implements do not count among those. Well, wands, I guess. Whatever. They can bash people over the head with a wand, but that's not gonna be very helpful. They are very good at combat. Yeah, I can imagine. Tell me about mages. Tell me about me. You can only tell me about things I can. Okay, fine. Yes, I can see. Look at the portrait. Yeah, I see what we're getting here. Yes, yes, a good dwarven fighter. Okay, what is the difference between good and evil game? Good characters are really good. As in high quality? They go out of the way to help old ladies cross the street. Ah, yeah, okay. What do neutral characters do with old ladies? Because I can imagine what evil characters do with old ladies. Neutral characters take life as it comes. They would help. They do tell me what they do with old ladies. Damn it, incredible, wonderful. All right, sorry about that. I had to lower again the tiniest of bits because apparently I feel like being loud today. All right, but they do tell me what neutral characters do with old ladies. Magnificent. Neutral characters take life as it comes. They would help an old lady cross the street if they were traveling in the same direction. Okay, fair enough. Evil characters are self-centered and always want to know what's in it for them. Evil characters help old ladies cross the street for a small fee. Well, guess what? If a neutral character is going the other way, he's not gonna help you, but an evil character is. So it's better to have an evil guy by your side if you have the money than it is to have a neutral guy. I think we should roll with a neutral. I think these are the best odds we're getting. I've heard that it's... Yes, I've read that it's a reasonably good idea because evil characters don't get along well with good characters. But neutral characters are gonna get along with anyone. Well, in that case, maybe I should roll with... as many good characters as is possible and as many neutral ones as is necessary. Do I want a good guy dwarf? Dwarf, are you a good guy? Oh, do I want a good guy dwarf? This is such a tough choice. I kind of want a good guy dwarf. He's gonna be the fighter at the front lines defending the team. Sure, yeah, let's make a good guy dwarf. Sector portrait, human. Ugh, no. Goodness, no. This is a dwarf we're talking about. Which is it, though? Which of these guys is my tank? No, that's definitely not a warrior. That'll do. And now I have to name him. How do I name the tanky tank? Think, Vestin, think. Oh, there should be a way to randomize this. Come on. I shall name my warrior Kruf. That looks more like Kraf. Kruf? Kruv. I don't want to make him into a crook. That's unseemly. Crooks? No. How about Krurk? Okay, I shall name this guy Krur. Krur was added to the roster. Go to Gilgamesh, okay. Here's Krur. In town, and okay. Okay, one character down. Every single bloody other one to go. How many characters do I create? Oh dear. Okay. Whew, I've got a warrior. I need another frontliner. I could try to use a well-rounded human character. Because I want another warrior, don't I? Should the warrior be a human just in the name of diversity? Come on now. But if I want to invest in strength and vitality, it's gonna be significantly easier to just use a dwarf. Fine, we're gonna take a second dwarf. This time we're gonna invest heavily in strength. And the rest goes to vitality. Confirm, making him a fighter. Good guy fighter. And what do we call this guy? Alright. I'm gonna call her Irei. Alright, so we've got Krur and Irei. Right, that's 2. I want a halfling thief and some mages, I guess. A mage and a priest. A bishop would be nice, but it's gonna be difficult to accomplish. Alright, a halfling thief. Yes, let's give him maximum luck and maximum agility. That's what he has, agility and luck. Everything else is secondary. Thief the scoundrel! Thieves need a minimum agility of 11 and can be any alignment except good. They have higher hit points than mages, but not as high as the melee focus classes. They can use daggers or short swords as weapons, with level armor and use a shield. However, the biggest strength is their ability to do some traps that may be between the party and some loot. Okay, yeah, this guy opens chests. That's what he does. I'm tempted to say that's all he does. You, buddy, you open chests. Let's make him neutral. All her. Alright, little scoundrel, who are you? Look at those shit-eating grins on the halflings. Perfect. How about the lady who lost an eye opening a trap she shouldn't have been opening? Yeah, let's roll with the shit-eating grin over here, yes. I'm gonna call her Ulia. I have no idea why that came to my mind, but I'm glad it did. So we have Krur, Irei, and Ulia for now. 5 hit points! Oh goodness, she's gonna die! Let's see. Ooh, Vim, what on earth is that? Well, presumably amount of vigor, yes. Depth 0, oh boy, that's not promising at all. Resilience, what on earth is that? Resilience, reflex, resolve. I don't know what those are. Okay. So I have 3 characters over here. 2 fighters and a thief. Let's make more. Alright. Obviously, I'm going to need an elven mage. I guess gnomes make decent priests, but why should I make... Hold on, let's actually check this out. I could hypothetically make an elven priest. Why shouldn't I? Just need 1 more point of piety. 10, 10. What's the big deal? I can easily make an elven priest. Why would I ever want a gnome? I don't understand. Also, if I want a master spellcaster, I can always just try to make an elven bishop. They can disenchant... I mean, they can uncurse cursed items, I believe. Not disenchant, whatever, you know. Uncurse, whatever you want to call it. So, do I make an elven bishop? Or do I just start out with the mage? The elf is going to have maximum intellect, but what else? A mage is mostly going to learn spells for mages. Do I just give this guy vitality? Agility? Luck? I don't know. Compensating in terms of agility doesn't sound like the worst of ideas. Put some points in intellect and the rest will go to vitality. Everyone benefits from vitality. And we make an elven mage. The sorcerer mages need a minimum intellect of 11 and maybe any alignment. They have low hit points and can only use a dagger or staff as a weapon. They cannot wield armor other than a robe. However, they can cast arcane spells, which makes them essential to any party. You are a mage. A good mage. Of course you're a good mage. Man, these portraits suck for the most part. They're just so samey. Let's call the mage. Kvelden. Oh, great. All that vitality did not do him much good. He's got 3 hit points. He's gonna die. But hey, he knows some spells, I guess. What do you know? Well, what do you know? Halito and Catito. 1 to 8 damage to a monster. This is a flame ball about the size of a baseball. It strikes a monster causing 1d8 fire damage. What does this do? Group of enemies. Oh, sleep effect on monster group. Bonus to hit and 2 times the damage on those affected. Compels enemies in a group to fall asleep unless they make a successful saving throw while are immune. Sleeping enemies are easier to hit and successful attacks to double damage. Do they wake up when they are hit? I'm glad they're all okay. Armor class 9. But you want to have a low armor class. Oh boy. Well, at least Krur has 13 hit points. That's handy. Oh yeah, you can tell what class they are based on the little frame over here. Mages are octagons. Alright, we have 2 warriors, a thief, a mage. Do we want a bishop? Or a priest? Well, bishops can learn any spell, but they are slow to learn, I think. I still don't understand why I would prefer a gnome over an elf in any circumstances whatsoever. 7, 10, 10, 6, 9, 6. 7, 10, 10, 8, 7, 7. Now that I look at it, yeah, elves have high intellect and piety, but in total those stats are inferior, so if I want a priest, I may as well pick a gnome, I guess. Maximum piety for the priest. Let's put the rest in vitality, just to be on the safe side. Could hypothetically invest in luck instead of vitality. Yeah, at this point, how much of a difference does it make anyway? Well, presumably it makes a difference in terms of hit points gained eventually. A priest. The Holy Warrior priests need a minimum piety of 11 and may not be of neutral alignment. They have high hit points, can use any armor, but not helmets. They must use specifically consecrated weapons such as staffs or cudgels. They do not fight as well as fighters, but they cast divine spells, including healing and resurrection spells, and have the ability to dispel undead enemies, rendering the enemy's connection to the evil magic that animates them. I mean, rending, sorry, not rendering, of course. Makes significantly more sense. You're gonna be a good priest. That doesn't look like a good priest to me. Fine. Your name is Utlo. Okay, 2 fighters, a mage, a priest, and a thief. How big can a party be anyway? Recruiting characters. At any time, there will be 12 adventures available to recruit to your roster of characters. Level 1 recruits are always free, but most seasoned recruits will cost a bit of gold based on their experience. Each time you turn from the maze, the list of available recruits will refresh, with all the recruits leaving and new recruits looking for parties. Unless your characters are very experienced, the new recruits will always be within a few levels of the highest level of any of your characters you achieved. Recruiting can be particularly useful if your most experienced party is killed in the maze and you are assembling a new party to recover them. Who do we have here? Great, I can pay 200 gold to recruit someone. Let's not. Oh, you know, I can recruit tier 1 people. But once again, let's not. Add to party. Ire, Krur, Quella, Nutlo, and Ilya. Ha ha ha. I can still recruit one more character. Alright, fine. Oh boy. I guess I need another frontliner, don't I? Which is interesting. Yes. Now I have 2 warriors, a thief, a mage, and a priest. But I don't want the thief on the front lines. I would like a lord, but I don't think I can get one. Can I recruit one? Fighter, fighter, priest, priest, fighter, priest, fighter, thief, mage, priest, mage, mage. Yeah, I think I'll just make another fighter, as pathetic as this seems. Ah, great, so I'll have 3 fighters on the front lines. 3 of them. Yes, and then 3 backliners. This still makes a decent degree of sense. Ugh. I guess I would ultimately like to, have some advanced class, but I can't. I just can't get them. I don't have the stats. Human can't make a samurai. I mean, come on now. I don't have anywhere near the requisite points. So, no. Well, if I want a character with a lot of vitality, maybe I should roll with a dwarf. Or do I actually want a human fighter? Is he's gonna have more luck? Okay, here's the deal. I want a human with a lot of vitality and more luck. No class requirements met. That's pathetic. This guy would have no class whatsoever. Okay, maximum vitality, 11 points of strength, and some luck. This character is gonna be weird. Okay, be a good fighter. I'm gonna call him... I'm gonna call this man, Timmy. A classic human name. Alright, so these are the frontliners, Timmy, Krur, and Ray. And at the back lines we have Oh, come on, mage. A mage with 3 hit points. Oh, goodness, protect the elf. Yes, then there's a priest with 7 and there's Ulia with 5. This is my party. Am I proud of them? I guess. Let's visit the store. What can we buy? What item would Timmy like to buy? I don't know. What item would he like to buy? Buy the helmet, sure. Equip it, yes. Alright, this helps, I guess. Alright. After the long while that I have spent here, I can't talk to anyone in town, can I? How can I help you, my child? You can't help me! Select the character to open character options. Yes. Rest, recover, change positions. You can inspect characters at the end, of course. Or you can have the entire party rest. I guess after a lengthy bit spent on character creation, I can finally enter the maze. Eesh. Always takes me a while, but I eventually get there. I do get there eventually. Sometimes. Alright. Presumably, I mean, they could... I think this is a sensibly set up party. Look at this. Look at this. I have 3 warriors at the very front. 2 of them with 13 hit points. 2 of them with armor class 3 at this point. And then I have the mage at the back with armor class 9 and 3 hit points. This guy will cast fireballs, but if anything gets to him, he's gonna die. I have the thief, Ulia over here, who's gonna open chests. There's Utlau, who's supposed to heal people. Utlau, tell me, buddy. What can you cast, actually? What spells do you know? He knows Dios, the healing spell. That's good stuff. And Badios, which deals damage. I understand, okay. So you can heal, but you can also deal damage. Understandable. Well, the time has come to enter the goddamn maze.